Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm really well.
You hear that voice in the background? That voice is whom we have been excited to come into the room today. I'm Rita McNeil-Freeney, and this is the podcast entitled Dancing for Life. And today I have a great friend in the studio with me. I'm excited to have him with us. And I always say before we begin is just take a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Take a deep breath, breathe out, and then just come into the room. So in the room today we have Dr. Charles Lunn. Are you Lunn Jr.?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, my father wasn't a doctor. He was not. He was a firefighter and a mechanic.
Wonderful. Okay. We have Dr. Charles Lunn Jr. in the house today. And Dr. Lunn is a friend of the community. He is board certified family medicine, and he is now with the Centennial Health Clinic, Northeast 23rd, here in Oklahoma City. He is a graduate of OU Medical School. Go Boomer, Tuner. And I want to say he is a advocate for our team, which is Sisters in Motion and Brothers too. And he's just a great family man, a great advocate for the community. So I'm glad that he's here with us today because we want to have a conversation about something that is really, really important to the community. So Dr. Lunn, I know I didn't say a lot about your bio, so just, jump in and say anything else that you want us to know about you.
Well, the great thing, and Rita, you are a good friend and you're an inspiration. I really, really, really enjoy my referral of patients to you. You're one of my number one referral source places.
Thank you.
And I brag on you all the time. But I am originally from Kansas City. I went to University of Oklahoma Medical School, and I graduated there almost 35 years ago. No, it was closer to 40.
Look like you're 35.
Yeah, I look like I'm 35. But yeah, because, on the podcast, I looked real young. So I've been practicing coming up 33 years on the east side in the Black community. Now my focus is more on geriatrics or senior care. Mm-hmm. And what you do is so very, very important to my job. Just keeping people healthy.
Yeah. And to piggyback on that, we had a great referral. I told her I was going to mention this on the podcast today. You made a referral just recently with one of your patients named Ophelia Whetstone. Mm-hmm. She adores you. She loves you. And she said, I waited about 2 weeks before I picked up that flyer that you gave me. And I said, let me call. And you had referred her to Sisters in Motion and Brothers too. And now she is leading the Quail Springs walking team on Mondays at 12 noon. And she is loving it. And we love her. So thank you for that referral.
Well, and thank you for accepting her. She came back and she told me that she had contacted you mm-hmm. and that she was being successful. I wish if you would be too busy if all the people I referred to you would actually show up. Mm-hmm. You would be just too busy. It's a daily referral. So
great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, it's in my best interest.
Well,
so.
we do appreciate that, mm-hmm. and we appreciate having her on our team. Yeah. She is an inspiration. Mm-hmm. She'll be walking with us in the senior marathon this year.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We do a lot of different things while mm-hmm. we're at the mall. So thank mm-hmm. you again for just referring mm-hmm. her and just being a part of our team. Thank you so much. For today, we're going to have a conversation, just kind of tie into what you've been doing and the community that you serve now, the community, the senior community, and how what we've been talking about, just staying active, keep moving, the things that will all stay, dementia and Alzheimer's. So just jump in and just share your heart in that area so the community can see what they can do to improve their health.
Well, the thing about practicing my job and a lot of my medical students, and I do teach medical students. Okay. Actually, I'm an associate professor with the University of Oklahoma, family medicine. I've been teaching for almost 30 years. a lot of my students will ask me, how did you become a geriatric doctor? Well, so what happens is 30 years ago, I was seeing patients my age. All medical doctors started when they're early 30s. I started a little earlier. And I was seeing patients with 30. They found out I was a good doc, so they referred their parents to me who were, 50 and 60. And 30 years later, those people are 80 and 90 if you do your job right.
Okay.
So that's how you become more of a seasoned physician, seeing older patients. And so so one of the things that I've had the luxury is to see my patients transition from the age of 50 to 80 or 60 to 90 or even 70 to 100. Or one gentleman, I didn't start taking care of him till he was 98. He died he claims 116. I'm only claiming 20 years of that. But, so one of the things, the main thing that has people age well is exercise and socialization. The vast majority of my patients who have gotten to the prime ages, and again, like last Friday I was in my office, I saw 3 people over age 90, and they were all driving.
Really?
They were, and I had no problem because I will take your license. If you're unsafe, I will take your license. You ain't killing my kids. So what they all have in common is they have a weekly exercise routine. They have a weekly socialization. They go to church. They're active in the church. They either go to a senior center or they walk with your group or something else. And these folks are doing well. They are not suffering from much dementia.
Right.
If we, and that's, and I think that what you do really, really helps in 2 facets. The folks, and this is one of those things, and of course, you go back to my bio, one of the things I did before I went to medical school, I was actually a football player. I had played 4 years of college, was actually an academic All-American and an All-American.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah, and I like to say if it wasn't for the head injury, I could have been a specialist.
Oh.
But I know what it takes to exercise. I know the difference between discomfort and pain. Most people don't, and that's where you come in. When people start out and we tell them to go exercise, they don't know what to do.
Right.
They don't know what hurts, and they don't know what hurt will be there. But when they're walking with your group and you're talking to them, and I'm absolutely sure sometimes some people sit down, and some people go faster and go slower. But it's really important for people to, when they're moving, start to move, that somebody's there not to coach them. People always ask me, oh, would you coach me? No, I'm a terrible coach. I remember my son was he was playing football, and of course I'm a football player, and they say, you should coach. And I said, okay, fine. And all the kids were, I let every kid play, and the parents were like, but we're losing. And I was like, I don't care. I'm a terrible coach. The kids having fun. So so that's where you come so highly. It's not just the exercise, it's the socialization, it's the commitment, it's all the things that go along with it.
I'm glad you brought that up. I hadn't thought about that, the socialization part, because when you are walking with an individual, you do start to create a bond with them, a friendship. They share a lot of information that they wouldn't share with other people. And then you start to become a family. And so that part of the equation really is what we do as far as getting people together. We laugh, we share stories. So I see why you say that piece is very important to lots of people. And now that I'm thinking about that, I probably would pay attention to that more often and make sure people are really connecting with each other. Yeah, that's really cool.
Well, yeah. I think that's it's an outlet, especially when you exercise with people that you're not related to. there's certain, and so I have my exercise group, and I run long distance, so I have 3 or 4 other doctors I run with.
Okay.
Now we are a great group because there's a lot of things you don't want to hear. For lay population does not want to hear what doctors say.
Okay.
We say things, and we're human, we're men.
Right.
But it's such a relief. My wife used to call my running group my knitting group because we would just start talking about different topics or playing other games, and these are all the things that people talk about in the prevention of dementia. You play word games. In our particular game, we would run and we would say, okay, at this mile, we're going to come up with, everybody comes up with a word that they looked up.
Okay.
And what does it mean? Use it in a sentence. A friend of mine's from India, and he would come up with Indian words that actually translate into English. But if you think about it, let's really think about that. We're practicing our cognitive skills. We're laying a baseline for our brain. And we're not playing a word game. I mean, a puzzle. We're not playing Sudoku. We're actually having to think of, learn a word, learn the meaning, learn use. And I guarantee you at the end of the day or the next day, I'm using that word in a sentence with my child.
That's great.
But that's what you get when you're able to exercise and talk with people. I mean, there is no downside except for tripping. We do trip. We do fall sometimes.
That is so amazing that you have that exercise that you do together. That is great. I always think about how beneficial it is to just get together, and I always like to think about how people are kind of isolated these days. And I understand we've had COVID. We have a lot of things that we are, cautious about. And I think people have gotten stuck into the isolation mode, and they are not, maybe seeking out as they should. And we thought about, it's getting ready to be, it's already spring, and how nice it would be for people to just kind of re-engage with each other. And so we're going to take the walk outside just in May, and we're hoping to get people to come outside and, the sunshine, vitamin D, the socialization, just nature in itself. So we're hoping that we can encourage more people, and I will be sending a flyer to you so you can share that with your patients. And it's just a great area. We'll be doing the Sistertail Park and have a new expanded area that we're going to explore. And it's just going to be so much fun. So I'm looking forward to that venture.
And that's really, really great because what you brought up, right now, a lot of people, because of COVID, and they were truly, truly scared. But now we have to relax a little bit and take some slight risk.
Okay.
And a lot of folks will be much more comfortable getting outdoors with your group. And I love the outdoors. I mean, it's not just the sun or the wind. It's the right now I can hear the birds. You can go by the river and hear the river going, and then see sights that you just I didn't notice that before.
Right.
And exercising outside is great, but you guys provide something that's really important. You exercise in the winter indoors. You know how many times people come to me on a nice day and say, I'm going to start exercising. And the next time I see them, they say, man, it's too hot. Or it's too cold.
Right.
Or it's too windy, and I don't feel safe. And I don't, you eliminate the whole excuse when you diversify your exercise routine. For you guys, it's indoors during the winter and outdoors in the summer. A lot of, if you think, I've really gotten into track and field, and I just loved it. I did not know, most of us watch the Olympics, and, I thought these people just show up every 4 years. No, they run track meets all year long. Okay. And I did not know there's an indoor season, there's outdoor season.
Wow.
So they just don't pop up at the end of the year, or when this outdoor season, or just the Olympics. So your indoor season is really important for transition to the good outdoor season.
And a lot of the participants, they're ready to go outside because they have stretched their muscles, they have set their goals for going outside, and then the team is really, cohesive. So we're going outside and we're inside together. So when we have the opportunity to be together, it's just an amazing thing. It's just a family. And I really like that.
Tell me about how you're getting the Senior Olympic for the Oklahoma City Marathon.
Well, it was a collaboration with Mercy Hospital and the Marathon Committee. And so they decided that if people would just count their steps at the beginning of the year, and then at the end of the marathon, they created this new senior category, which we all fit, some of us fit. And so we're going to walk or run the last 1.5 mile across the finish line. So we're excited about doing that, and we've already recruited at least 12 of our team members to participate. And it's going to be April 29th, a part of the marathon weekend, Saturday, 8 a.m. And so I think it has attributed to them walking all these years anyway. So for them to create a whole senior category for probably 10% of our team, that's going to be fun. We're going to run across the finish line.
Oh yeah, well, you got to look good at the photo.
Yeah, we got to have a great photo.
You got right at the end.
Lock the arms. All 12 of us run across the finish line. Yay!
Well, plus it's a reward. We, at our age, and when we get to our age, we don't get many trophies.
True.
All I get is gray hair. I can say it's a trophy, but it's not. But and some of those things can be so important. And I sit around. I've got my various little metal things, and they bring up really good memories of how hard I worked and the reward. So I think that's really, really. I think that's great. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy the marathon. You're participating. You get to wear a bib. Get to do all the stuff.
Yes. We've run, and we had a five-team relay a couple of years back. Yeah. And then we always walked the 5K. And now with this new category, we are able to recruit more of our team. So they're going to be inspiration for other seniors. We hope to, increase the numbers next year and have an own category. I think we'll be a catalyst for more, mature walkers.
I hope so.
Definitely. Yeah. So I'm going to just bring another facet of you into the conversation. I don't know if people know that you are an artist, that you have your own band, and we've talked about that. Do you want to kind of talk a little bit about that? Because that's part of, staying active, music, and just being creative. So did you want to talk a little bit about that today?
We can talk about, I've been in a band for over 30 years. The first band I was in was called Two Quacks and a Shyster. We don't like that as lawyers and doctors. But, when we talk about maintaining, again, diversifying your social group. I have my running group. I have my work group. I have you as a group. But I have music as a group. And it's a common language with people where you can meet somebody young, like we met the sound engineer, and she does beat making. I'm like, I gotta check that out.
I gotta
check it out. But you also, it's mentally stimulating doing music, especially when I play blues and jazz, and you are constantly working your mind with another band just to to see where are they going, where are they going. Oh, I didn't hear that before. Oh, this sounds great. A lot of times that sounds terrible, but so music's really, really important to me. I like to write. I like to record. I'm fortunate now that I've got my band's has its own monetary income, so my wife does not have to see how much I'm spending on various items.
That's a good place to be in. It's great.
It's a great place.
Yeah,
it's a great place.
It's wonderful. That's awesome.
And did you tell them that you sang a song with me, that we have not released it yet?
We have not released it yet. I don't think my audience knows that.
Yeah.
And that'll be something that we can share in another podcast.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about that some other time. Okay.
We'll talk about that and maybe give them a little sample or whatever you'd like to do.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate you just showing those assets and those facets of your life. And you've been such a great component for us, a supporter. We appreciate you so much. And I hope that you would just continue the work that you're doing in the community. And did you want to add anything else to the conversation today?
Well, I think, at this point in my career, I'm looking to pass on things.
Okay.
I'm looking for younger physicians. I've hired a very nice young nurse practitioner.
Great.
But I don't know, just looking back where I'm at now, things are doing wonderful for me. I love the practice. I love the people I've met. I just want to make sure that people see the value in staying alive and staying healthy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you have been a great component and you have been a very great advocate. Well, I thank you for your time today and all the benefits of walking and staying active and just, curating a social avenue for people is the great benefits. So, Dr. Charles Lunn, thank you for coming into the room today with us on our family visit. And thank you for being a friend of the community. Thank you for being an amazing person. And we look forward to talking to you again on the show, Dancing for Life. And when was the last time you danced?
I don't dance. You have to draw the line. I can run, I can play guitar, but dancing is not.
We do dance lessons here, so if you
you have to be interested. That's the one thing. When you pick an activity, you have to be interested.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll save that for another conversation. But I think you can dance. Okay.
Anybody can dance.
That's right.
But a lot of people get laughed at.
Well, thank you again, Dr. Lunn. We appreciate your time. Okay. Have a blessed day, and thank you again. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.